and welcome to this yoga class that I've recorded especially for you. This is my first ever recording of a yoga class and I'm a little bit scared, but we'll see how it goes. I've recorded this class because I've been asked several times by my students to make a recording that they can watch and practice at home. And this was a class that I taught a few weeks ago where the focus was on shoulders and bringing more strength and mobility into the shoulders and really helping us to release our shoulders so that we don't slump so much, because we all tend to round the spine a little bit and collapse as the day goes on. If you're sitting at a wheel or at a computer or a desk, then this rounding of the shoulders can lead to back pain. So this class was focused on addressing that and opening the front body, getting the shoulders back and just generally feeling great. So we're going to need a few props for this, okay? I have 2 of these yoga blocks, okay? I have another block which you may or may not use. You could maybe use a cushion instead of this if you have a cushion handy. I have a yoga belt, but you could also use a dressing gown belt or a tie even. And I have a blanket. Now, in place of a blanket, you could use a towel perhaps, or any blanket you have around the house. So this is going to be a full class, and I'm going to encourage you to take it at your own pace and to only do what feels good for your body, okay? We're going to start by rolling up this blanket, okay? Rolling it into quite a tight roll, so if you look a little bit like this, I'm going to place it on the floor at the top of your mat, and we're going to lie over it, and it's going to come round about here at the base of your shoulder blades. If you're a female and you're wearing a bra, around your bra strap, otherwise if you're a male, at the base of your shoulder blades, okay? So come around and lie on your back. We're only going to be here for a few minutes. Try and position that blanket so that it's right underneath base of your shoulder blades, and then you can bring the edges of the blanket down and position your arms a little bit away from your body, palms up towards the ceiling. Now, this part of the body can hold a lot of tension, and it's the part of the body that's quite difficult to access and work into. So that might be just a little bit ouchy, okay? So if it feels a little bit tender there, maybe we'll stay for a few breaths and just let your shoulders roll back and just stay very still. If it's tender, just stay still and breathe into it. And we can all bring our awareness to our breath and just start to feel the movement of the breath in the chest. So relaxing all of the muscles of your face, your cheeks and your jaws and your tongue. And just focusing on the breath. Now, we're going to feel movement of the breath all the way through the rib cage. On the inhale, you might feel expansion of the ribs up towards the ceiling. So maybe just focus on that movement first. Feel the lungs expanding. Feeling the belly sink down on the exhale. Maybe you can also feel some movement of the rib cage out to the sides, even up under the armpits a little bit. And also some movement of the breath into the back body, so that as you inhale, you can feel the back of your ribs pressing against that blanket. So giving a gentle massage as we breathe. Feeling the rise and fall of the chest and the belly as you breathe in and out. Perhaps just letting a little bit more weight come into the back body, pressing into the blanket. And if you're not feeling that, and you
would like more sensation into the back body, a little bit more of a massage there, you could wrap your arms around your torso, give yourself a hug, and see how that feels, and really directing the breath into the back body. If that feels okay, maybe a gentle rock side to side to massage that area just a little bit more. And if it's too tender, come back to here. And if that's too tender, remove altogether that blanket. So just taking another few breaths there, whatever position that you're in, just taking a few breaths. And then I'm going to invite you to maybe just roll to one side and then to the other. And again, if this back area is very tender, this might be too much, it feels okay. Just windscreen wiping the legs from side to side, and then coming all the way over onto one side, pushing yourself up and removing the blanket. Then let's roll onto our left side and come back down to the floor. I'm going to bring the knees in together, one knee on top of the other, and the feet together. And just rest the head down. If your blanket is handy, you want to place your head onto the blanket, the edge of the blanket, that's fine. Palms together, elbows together, one shoulder stacked on top of the other shoulder. We're going to keep the knees together. We're going to take that upper hand over, up towards the ceiling, and then back towards the wall behind you. Now the arm doesn't need to come all the way to the floor, just go with what you've got. Bring yourself all the way back again. You're going to do that a few more times. Lead with the arm, maybe follow that hand with your gaze, if your neck will allow. Taking the shoulder blade back towards the mat, and then bringing it all the way back. Let's do one more. Bringing a nice twist into the spine, and then all the way back. Shuffle around to the other side. I'm going to turn my back to you for a moment. Arms together, knees together, and again we're going to open and twist. Wherever you get to is fine. Over and back. Breathing in and out through your nose. Maybe taking that inhale as you draw the arm over and back, and exhaling as you close back in again. Let's just do one more on this side. And then coming back to your starting point. Let's remove the blanket, roll onto your back. And then I'm going to ask you to bring the right knee into the chest. You can hold at the back of that thigh. Just roll out your right ankle a few times. So keep the rest of the leg still. Just work from the ankle. A few circles in each direction. You might take a breath in through the nose now. And on your exhalation, just lift your forehead up towards that knee. And then slowly roll all the way back down again. Let's extend that right heel. Let's extend that right leg. Take the heel up towards the ceiling. Curl your toes towards your nose. You can bring the hands to the back of the thigh. Try and keep your shoulders soft. Relax your face again. Relax your jaws. Take a few breaths there, just lengthening out hamstring. Maybe you can take those toes a little bit more towards the wall behind your head. And just breathe. When you're ready, rebend that knee, bring that foot back to the mat, and bring your left knee in towards your chest. And we're going to roll out that left ankle. Maybe you want to close your eyes and just keep that awareness inside your body. stay connected to your breath and all of the sensations you can feel in that ankle, maybe in your hip. Take a breath in. On your exhale, lift your forehead towards that knee. Nice squeeze. Roll all the way back down. Take that heel up towards the ceiling, straighten out that leg. Again, toes are curling towards your nose. Shoulders soft. And then we're going to take the right leg up as well. So both legs straight up towards the ceiling. I want you to press through the heels. Okay, I'm going to also take the arms up. Now I want you to turn the fingers out to the side. So the heel of my hand is pressing up, fingers are pointing out to the sides. Now I'm going to take the arms back over my head. Try to keep the front ribs soft. So try to keep the back towards the floor. Now I want you to push the ceiling away from you and the wall behind your head away from you. So keep pressing out through the heels on your feet, through the heels of your hands. Bring as much length into the back body as you can. And breathe and stretch for 3 and 2 and 1. Well done, bring your knees into your chest. Take a little rock side to side. Maybe circle the knees a few times. Just massage around your sacrum. And then just for the hips, take your knees out to the sides, roll the hips in the sockets. And go a few circles in each direction. Notice how your hips feel this morning. And then from there, we're going to cross at the ankles, rock yourself all the way to sitting. Okay, so from sitting, we're going to take the edges of the feet to the floor. So kind of like this. Okay, so a little bit of space between the feet, knees out wide to the side. Okay, find your sit bones, move any fleshy bits out of the way. I'm going to take another of these stretches. So these stretches are designed to really help to bring a little bit of space between the vertebrae in the spine. They're really great for lengthening and stretching the spine. And if you think our nervous system is running along the length of the spine, it means there's better circulation there. So helping the nervous system. And just taking pressure off of our discs, okay? So, knees are out to the side. I want you to draw in a little bit through your belly, through your pelvic floor, Mula Bandha as we call it in yoga. Going to take the arms forward and then again, turn the fingers out to the walls on your side. Now when you're ready, bring the arms up overhead. Think about lifting and lengthening through the crown of your head and then pressing the heels of your hands up towards the ceiling. You're going to feel some work going on here in your hip flexors and your inner thighs. Big stretch through the side body, big stretch through the crown of your head. Keep reaching up, keep breathing. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then slowly bring yourself back down again. You can let the knees come together. Bring the feet to the floor and ground yourself through your feet there. Take the fingertips to the floor behind you. And then push the floor away and lift up your chest. You can let your gaze drift up to the corner of the room. Squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back body. Take a nice deep breath in. Maybe sigh the breath out through the mouth. And again, push the floor away a little bit, lift the chest. And again, you're feeling the shoulder blades firming against the upper back. One more. Nice. Now bring the heels of the hands to the floor. And you can turn fingertips outwards a little bit. You decide what feels best for your shoulders. We're going to do a reverse table pose. So maybe walk the heels in a little bit closer to the bum and have your feet about hip width apart. We're going to lift the chest first, push into the hands, and then push into the feet and lift up your hips. And we're trying to bring the hips in line with the knees. Don't let the knees splay out to the side. Keep the inner thighs working, press into the inner edges of your feet a little bit. And then think about dragging your heels towards your hands. So they're not going to actually move, but we're going to just pull and drag the feet a little bit more towards the hands. So you're going to really fire up your glutes and the back chain muscles in your body. Let's breathe there for 3. Keep going. 2. Think about taking your tailbone a little bit more towards your heels. 1 more breath. 5. You're going to bring it down slowly, and that's quite hard on the wrists sometimes for people, so maybe just sit up, roll out your wrists a little bit, maybe shake that out. And then we want to come and sit on our block or a cushion, or you might not need a block or a cushion at all. I prefer to use the block just to help me keep a nice straight spine, and I tend to use them in my classes. So we'll sit in an easy cross-legged position, and I want you to let the shoulders relax away from the ears, kind of pin the arms in alongside your body. So if I turn to the side, nice straight back, arms in alongside the body. We're going to work into the shoulders first. So start to draw the shoulders forward. Notice I'm not rounding my back. Just bring the shoulders forward. Arms are staying alongside the body. So maybe you feel the chest collapse a little bit and the shoulder blades move apart. Now pull the shoulders up towards your ears. Squeeze them up there. Now draw them all the way back and think about squeezing the shoulder blades together on your back body. Now take them down as though you were trying to take your shoulder blades into your back pockets. So we're coming forwards, we're coming up, back and down. Forwards, up, back and down. Maybe you can take the edges off of that and just make big circles. And really think about what's happening with your breath. Maybe inhaling as you're drawing the shoulders up and exhaling as you're taking them back and down. And again. One more breath. Good, and then just maybe shake it out a little bit. Come into the neck next. So you can stay in your cross-legged position. Maybe you want to change the cross of your legs to take any pressure off the side of your foot. Going to look over the left shoulder. Now take your chin down towards your shoulder and sweep it across the front of your chest, following the line of your collarbones. Look over your right shoulder and then lift the chin, extend through the neck. Nice kind of rainbow archway with the chin, looking over the left shoulder. Coming forward across the chest, looking over the right shoulder, lift and lengthen all the way over. Maybe pause, go back in the other direction. Don't push through any pain. It's really important in any yoga class. Don't push into pain. If you've pain anywhere in your neck, just go around it. Coming back to center. Okay, we're going to work a little bit now into externally rotating the shoulders. So bring up your arms and try and press your elbows together. So if I show you this from the side, elbows are going to be in line, or ideally a little bit higher than your shoulders. If you go lower, you're not going to feel the effects of this. So try to keep the elbows in line with the shoulders, and then the pinky finger side of the hand is together. So we're in this position. You're going to feel the shoulders rolling out, the upper arms rolling out, and what I want you to do is to keep the elbows together, but try and separate the hands. So we're just going in and out. And don't worry if you find this very difficult, because it is very difficult. And you're going to feel your shoulders getting tired quite quickly doing this. So keep the elbows together, but pull the hands apart. In and out a few times. Keep those elbows lifted, don't let them drop. Bringing the hands together, you stay there. I'm going to turn to my side to show you the next part of this. Keep the elbows up, keep the elbows together, and then try to take the arms, the hands forward. So you're working to straighten the arms. It may or may not happen. Try to keep those elbows together, keep those elbows up. Extending forward and back, and forward and back. Let's do one more. Keep those elbows together. Good. Then when you finish that, you're going to press the palms of the hands together. I'm going to take the arms straight up overhead. Reach up through your fingertips. Stretch out again through your body. Make yourself as tall as you can. And then keeping the palms pressing together. You stay there. I'm going to turn again to the side. Keep the palms pressing together. Bring the hands behind your head. Try not to press your chest forward. Try to keep your ribs soft. Up and down a few times from there. Hands coming behind the head. 3, 2, keep breathing. 1, draw the palms back to the heart center. Woo, shake it out. It's quite strong, okay? So shake that out. We're going to come around now onto our hands and our knees. So find yourself, I'm just going to take off one of these bangles because it's kind of noisy. Come onto your hands and knees, all right? Wrists line up with your shoulders, knees lining up with your hips, and feet straight back out behind you. Nice flat back. Okay, coming back to the shoulder blades. This is just a simple protraction and retraction of the shoulder blades. So what I mean by that, if you're not quite sure what those terms mean, is protraction is where we pull the shoulder blades apart. So actually I'm just going to push the floor away a little bit more. What you might notice there is a slight rounding coming into my upper back, and that's because the shoulder blades on the back of my body are separating, they're pulling apart. So pushing the floor away, I'm not moving through my spine. I'm trying to keep my belly drawn in a little bit, trying to keep my back quite straight, but let the shoulder blades pull apart. Then where we're going from there is keep the arms straight, but just relax through your shoulders, and then let your chest sink down between your shoulders, and try and really focus on squeezing the shoulder blades together on the back body. So maybe imagine there's a pencil in between your shoulder blades and you're trying to squeeze them in towards each other. So we push the floor away to protract the shoulder blades, move them apart, and then we sink the chest towards the floor. We squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back body, and we're just going to go in and out of that a few times so you get the hang of that. This is one of my favourite moves at the moment for shoulders. Just feels so good, and it's really important to keep those shoulder blades moving freely on your back body. Let's do one more. Good. And then come back to kind of a neutral position, your starting position. We call this table pose. From here, where we're going is into a cat-cow. So we're going to lead with the tailbone. Start to lift up your tailbone, drop your belly. Chest moves forward through the upper arms, and we're lifting the head. I'm going to take an inhale. And then on your exhale now, tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly in, pull your front ribs in, pull your chest in. Chin goes towards the chest. And then again, inhaling, coming forward. So it kind of makes sense with our breathing to inhale when we're in our cow pose and to exhale when we come into our cat, because you can really pull the belly in and push the air out. Do one more of those. Lead in again with the tailbone. back to neutral. We're going to curl the toes under, and if your blocks are handy, bring your blocks alongside of you there. I'm actually just going to come forward a little bit so you can see me. So I curled the toes under, and I'm going to sit back onto my heels. Okay, this is not very comfortable for a lot of people, so I'm not going to keep you here for too long. But let's just see if we can take a few breaths here. Again, let your shoulders relax back. Just breathing down, maybe into your belly. Let's take another 2 or 3 breaths here. Come back up onto your knees, and we're going to turn to the side of the mat. So I'm going to do this facing you. Take one of your blocks and bring it to the floor on your right side, and then we're going to take the left leg out to the side. So leave your block there for now, but just have it in position. So we have this leg, you can see, straight out to the side. I'm actually going to turn my toes more towards the top of the mat, taking a gate pose. So the left hand is coming to the left thigh, the right palm is turning up towards the ceiling. I'm going to inhale, reach up, and on my exhale, slide this hand down my leg. Now try to keep your left shoulder soft. Don't let the shoulder clamp up around your ears. Relax that. Reach out to the corner edge of the room. You might be feeling a nice stretch down the inner thigh, that's good. Lots of space into the side body, so breathe into the ribs there, make some space. Don't let your head just fall off the end of your neck. Keep your ear nestling in against your upper arm. Breathe for 1 more breath. And then lift up and bring yourself all the way back. Now I would turn the toes more in so that the outer edge of your foot is parallel with the side of your mat. Hand can come to the hip, right hand is coming to your block. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of strength work here, because as I said, this is a class that's focusing quite a bit on the shoulders, but we're going to work every part of the body, because I like all of my classes to work kind of all parts of the body. So lean a bit of weight into that block, and then what I want you to do is I want you to engage the muscles on the outside of this thigh and with your glute to lift that leg up and down. So we're not leaning over to lift it, we're not swaying, we're just going to squeeze the muscles here to lift and to lower. And legs are heavy, so that might feel hard, okay? Coming up and down. 3, 2, nothing else moves. 1, hold, and then slowly lower. Going to take a side stretch. I'm going to take the block down a little bit lower for me. And then rooting into the sole of that foot, we're going to take that left palm up, turn it up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach over, and again, stretch out to the corner edge of the room. So don't just let that arm collapse on top of you. Extend out, and again, extend through the crown of your head. Keep that ear up against that arm, and breathe. Just going to move that in. Maybe you can think about the breastbone rolling up a little bit more towards the ceiling, so then taking you to look up under your arm. Let's take another breath. 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hand back to your hip. Lift up. I'm going to bring the block with me, and I'm going to change sides. And just positioning the block where you can grab it as you need it. Left knee's on the floor. If you've got knee issues, pad out that knee. Do what it is that you need to do to make this comfortable for you. Straight leg if you can. Right hand to that leg, left palm turns up. Inhale, reach up, lengthen up, and then on your exhale, sliding down into that lovely gate pose. Again, think about your breastbone. Maybe draw it up a little bit. Look underneath that arm. Breathe.
and then bring yourself slowly back. I'm going to turn my toes in, and I'm going to bring my hand to the brick. Again, you can go a little bit lower if you want. Whatever just feels best for you. Hand to the hip, so that right hand to the right hip. Again, we're not leaning forward to lift that leg, we're just going to engage muscles to lift and lower that leg. Might feel very different on one side to the other. We all have some imbalances in our body. Remember, nothing else is really moving here, very steady, we're just engaging glutes and our abductor muscles on the outside of that thigh. And your waist might come into that a little bit too. You might feel that all down that side of the body. Go for 3 and 2 and 1, and release that foot down. Right palm up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach out, extend. So either reaching through your fingertips, or if you want to, through the heel of your hand for a little bit extra stretch. Breathe. And then bring yourself all the way back. Cool. I'm going to turn back towards the top of the mat. I'm going to come back onto our hands and our knees. So from here, a little bit of shoulder strengthening work again. This can be kind of hard on the wrist, so if there's issues with wrists, you can roll up the top of your mat and bring the heel of your hand onto the edge of the mat, fingers off the end, or you can make fists. But just mind your wrists, okay? So we're going to take the weight a little bit more into the right hand. We're going to take our block into our left hand. Now again, we're going to try and keep the torso very steady and stable and just work from the shoulder. So we're lifting this block and we're going to take the elbow up towards the ceiling. It's a kind of rowing motion. Okay, but we're not rolling the whole chest back. We're just going to keep steady, lift the elbow, and then take the block as though you're passing it to the person in front of you. Okay, coming back, lifting the elbow, reaching forward. Maybe you can lift it higher. Imagine passing it forward. Coming back and forward. Good. Couple more of those on this side. So this is really nice for building strength in the shoulder, but also keeping very steady through your core. Last time. Lift and pass forward. Okay. Changing sides. You might want to roll out that wrist, maybe pass the back of your hand to the floor with all your fingers. Again, to kind of lighten up through the wrists a little bit, you can always walk your knees a little bit closer to your hands, and you can still do the same movement. It becomes a little bit less strong for the core. If you want to go stronger, you can actually take your knees back a little bit, so there's more weight coming into that wrist, but also going to have to work more through the core to keep ourselves steady. I'm going to take table pose. You can choose what feels best for you. The block is coming into our right hand, and again, draw in through your front body a little bit, and then take that right elbow up. Try not to roll the whole side of your chest back, and then pass that block forward. Keep the back of the neck long. Keep going with this, forward and back. Stay with your breath. Don't hold your breath as you're doing this. Sometimes when we're efforting, we will hold the breath. Keep the breath flowing. Good. And again. 2 and 1. Place the block down. I'm going to invite you to take your knees a little bit wider and maybe walk the hands forward and take your sit bones back.
You can relax your head down to the floor. Take a nice big child pose. Try and keep a little bit of activity in those arms if you can. You could even come onto the fingertips so you get a nice stretch for the shoulders, down the side body. A couple of deep breaths again, maybe sighing out the breath on the exhale. And again. And then when you're ready, lifting back up onto your hands and knees. So just to get you off your wrists for a moment, we're going to come into a lunge position. So you can step the right foot up to the top of your mat. Try and have your knee kind of stacking over your ankle. If this back knee isn't happy here, then maybe pad it out with a blanket. Okay, so we're going to actually take the belt. So hopefully you can grab your belt. I'm going to bring the belt behind the back. Okay, and we're going to hold the belt behind the back. If you see, I haven't got a load of space between it. I want to be able to pull the hands apart a little bit and really work to squeeze the shoulder blades back. As far as our pelvis is concerned, I'd like a little tilt back of the pelvis. If you think about drawing your belly in, lengthening your tailbone down, you should get a nice stretch into that hip flexor. So we're not going for this great big deep lunge. We want to stay here, but we want to engage muscles. You can also drag that front foot a little bit towards your back knee and vice versa. So pull them in together. Activate it. Shoulders are back. You're pulling on the two ends of that belt, not really strongly, but a little bit of pull there. Take an inhale and take an exhale. Soften those front ribs, and then on your next inhale, pull the arms away from the back body. We're going to go in and out a few times. Good. Keep going. Perfect. 3 more. Doesn't matter where you get to, whatever you do is fine with me, as long as it's comfortable for you. 1 more. Nice. And then you're going to release the belt. Hopefully one of your blocks or both of your blocks are handy. And you can start to guide your sit bones back. So I'm not moving the foot, I'm just going to pull the toes off the floor and take my sit bones back towards the wall behind me. I'm using the blocks for support. You may need them lower, you might not need them at all. Try and draw that right femur bone, that thigh bone, into its socket, but try and keep your spine quite straight. So I don't want to see you like that, curled over into it, hunched up. That's why we can use the blocks. Keep a nice straight spine. If you're going to deepen this pose, it's by taking your belly more towards your thigh rather than rounding the back. Take another breath. And then walk that foot forward, maybe walk the hands forward. And step back onto your hands and knees. Shimmy that out a little bit, side to side. We're going to change sides and step the left foot forward. And again, lift up into that lunge. Lengthen through the tailbone, draw the belly in. So there's a little kind of tilting back of the pelvis. Okay. This time we're not using the belt. This time I'm going to ask you to steeple the fingers together. So start to pull the shoulders back. Start to squeeze the shoulder blades together. We're retracting the shoulder blades. We're not sticking the ribs out. Keep the ribs soft. If you can, just try and touch the tips of the fingers together. Call it steepling the fingers. Takes a little bit of effort. We've no belt to pull on now. We're doing this with our own strength. Touching the fingertips. And either just hold in there for a few breaths, or you might be able to start to lift the hands a little bit further away from the back body and then soften them. So lifting and softening. Lifting and softening. 3, 2, 1. It's quite strong. And then release, shake it out. Run a stretch on the other side, hands to the blocks or to the floor, toes lifting off the floor. So curl the toes towards you, draw that thigh bone back into its socket, keep that nice straight spine. Go deeper only by bringing the belly towards the thigh. If, as well, you're just feeling this in the back of the knee, don't be afraid to bend your knee, it's fine. You actually might get a better stretch into the hamstring with
bent knee. Take another breath there. Good, and then bring yourself forward, release the blocks, and step back onto your hands and knees, maybe shimmy that little way. Okay, the next part of this is to bring in a kind of pulling, dragging movement for the shoulders, and this is something we don't do a lot in yoga. In yoga, we're often pushing the floor away. This is an exercise that allows us to drag these blocks towards us. I've pinched this from Jenny Rawlings. Jenny, I just have to give you a nod if you ever see this video. Thank you for all of your fantastic ideas. If you don't know who Jenny Rawlings is, go and check her out on Facebook and Instagram. Jenni Rawlings, Rawlings. Okay, so bring the blocks underneath your hands. We're not grasping the blocks, we're actually just placing the hands flat onto the blocks. Finding nice table pose, knees under hips, okay, feet straight out behind. Now you can curl your toes under for a bit of extra leverage here. What I want you to start to do is drag the blocks towards your knees, okay? So it's as though you're going to pull the blocks towards your knees, but we're not actually going to see them move. What we're going to do is we're just going to engage the muscles that start that pulling motion. So as you pull those blocks towards your knees, you should feel a lot of work going on in your core and a lot of work going on in your shoulders and your upper arms. So keep dragging. It's going to be difficult to talk, so just breathe. Keep pulling, keep pulling. If you're not feeling anything, you're not doing it right. This is strong, you're probably starting to shake. 3, 2, 1, and then just soften. So this is, it's an isometric exercise. You can't actually see anything happening, but you should be able to feel that. So let's go again. I'm just going to move that leg out of the way then. So let's go again. So start to drag those blocks towards your knees. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, shaking, 2, 1, and then soften. Okay, so you're probably starting to get a little bit warm after that. We're going to do it again, this time with the toes curled under. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to drag those blocks towards us, but we're then going to also take the bum back towards the heels. But keep pulling on those blocks, and then to bring yourself back, I want you to pull yourself back up. Okay? Let's go. Start to drag those blocks. Get that engagement first, and then start to take your bum back towards your heels. Keep pulling on those blocks, keep dragging them towards you. And then to get back up, pull yourself back up. Pull, 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 pull. And then just relax for a moment, okay? Hopefully you've got that. We'll do it again. Dragging in. Engage all those muscles. Feel your shoulder blades move down your back a little bit, and then take your bum back towards your heels. Stay with your breath. Good. Pull yourself back up. Slowly. Try and keep the engagement. Go back again. And pull yourself back up again. Last time, take your bum back. Keep pulling on those bricks the whole time. And then pull yourself back up again. And then relax. Woo! Take your knees a little bit wider. Uncurl your toes and take your bum back to your heels. You can keep the hands on the bricks if you want and actually push them away. And then rest the forehead towards the floor. If that feels too much for your arms, let go with the bricks. Hands flat to the floor. 2, 3 breaths. You can let your elbows soften, your arms relax, take a breath. And then just start to lift yourself up. Try not to move your hands from where they are. You can bring your knees
then just flip your palms over and bring your forearms down to the floor. Okay, from there, you can go in wider again with your knees and start to guide your sit bones back. Try to keep the backs of the hands pressing into the floor. So your thumb is not going to reach the floor, but that's what we're aiming to do. So we're really flattening out the hands, taking the bum back again, relaxing your head. You can straighten arms if you want, or keep them a little bit softer. Just keep pressing the thumbs out. 3, 2, 1, and then bringing yourself up. Come down onto your forearms and clasp your hands. We're going to do a dolphin pose. We're going to keep the hands clasped for now, and we're going to curl the toes under. If you haven't done a dolphin pose before, it's a little bit like a downward dog. You're going to push the forearms into the floor. So again, don't let the shoulders collapse. Push the floor away. Start to lift your knees, and then push your chest back and push the arms forward. So it's like you're pressing the mat forward away. You're lifting the tailbone, drawing the belly in and pressing the chest back. We're just going to hold for maybe 5 breaths. Keep pushing the forearms down into the mat and pushing forward. 3, 2, head is off the floor here, arms alongside the upper arms. 1, bring yourself forward and back into a child pose. And this time sweep your arms back and let your shoulders release over your knees. Let them relax for a moment. Forehead touching the floor or a block if you can't reach the floor. Maybe just roll the forehead side to side. Give yourself a little forehead massage. So nice and calming for the nervous system. Good. And then when you're ready, arms back out in front. Back up onto your hands and your knees. So I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way for a moment. We're going to come into a downward facing dog. So we've prepped really nicely through the shoulders now. So curling your toes under. Push the floor away again a little bit. Lift up your knees. Press your bum back towards the wall behind you. Drop your head. And now lift up. High with your sit bones. Sit bones are pressing up and back. Pressing the mat forward and away from you. Soften the ribs. Don't worry about the heels coming down. Maybe just walk out your dog. Maybe press one heel down as you bend the other knee. Side to side a little bit. Maybe give your head a nod in the shake. Let go of any tension you might be holding in the neck. Keep it all kind of soft and fluid. You don't want to lock out anywhere. Okay? Just another breath or 2 here in this downward facing dog. And we're going to transition through to Cobra Pose. So we're going to come via plank. So start to bring your shoulders forward so they're kind of stacking over your wrists. Now that protraction of the shoulder blades, that pushing away will help you here. Push the floor away, squeeze your glutes a little bit, engage your thighs and root back into your heels. So we have a lovely flat back position. We're not letting the legs sink towards the floor or the pelvis. The bum isn't in the air like a downward dog. We're in a nice flat back position. Pushing the floor away. Nice firm engagement through your core. If you can for 3 and 2 and 1. And then you can let your knees come down. Maybe roll over the fronts of your thighs. Lower down. Now, hopefully, tips of your fingers are lining up with the tops of your shoulders, ready for our Cobra Pose. So rest the forehead down, lengthen out through your legs, and press the tops of the feet down into the floor. Feel your knees lift. Press down through the tops of your thighs, maybe through your pubic bone. You want to feel a gentle engagement in your bum muscles. Shoulders draw back and down, elbows are in. We're going to lift through the head, neck and chest. It's a low cobra. because you want to use our back muscles to lift, okay? A couple of breaths there. Don't stick the chin out, keep the back of the neck long. Let those shoulders back. Good. One more breath. Slowly rolling down. Next time we come up the same way. Lift your head, neck and chest. Squeeze those shoulders back. Lighten a little bit through the hands. Maybe you can lift the hands off and really work to pull those shoulders back. Couple of breaths there. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I'm going to make this just a tiny bit harder. If that's enough for you, you stay with that variation. If you can, I'm going to bring the hands, touch the fingertips to the back of the head, take the elbows out wide. Engage your legs, press down through the tops of your feet, through tops of your thighs. Engage your bum. Lift your head, neck and chest. It's a lot harder now because the arms are weighing down a little bit more. So you can hold there, breathe for 3 and 2, 1. Lower yourself down. Well done. Hands can sweep back underneath the shoulders. I'm going to curl the toes. Push up onto your hands and knees. If you need to take a break, take a child pose. Otherwise, we're going to go back into downward facing dog. So spread the fingers wide. Make sure you're pressing into the knuckles at the ends of your fingers. So that lifts you off your wrists a little bit. Just going to readjust myself. Curl your toes. And then back into your downward facing dog. Maybe you want to lift up and down onto your tiptoes a few times, stretch out your feet. We're going to make our way into standing, but we're going to come via an angry bear. So, start to take your feet out wider. They might come off the edges of your mat. Bend your knees deeply. Okay, really suck the belly in. You're going to walk the hands back a little bit and bring your heels down. Okay, so I'm going to come forward a little bit. So bring the heels down. You can rest your elbows for a moment onto your knees to find your stance. So I'm turning my toes out ever so slightly and I'm pressing my knees out. So I turn towards the front, kind of like this. Okay? So we're pressing the knees out wide to the sides. So think about taking the weight into the outer edge of your foot, maybe a little bit more. Then you can lift up, bring your hands to your thighs. So we're lifting the chest. If I turn sideways again, we're lifting the chest. Okay, so here's where it gets a little bit harder. Come maybe a little bit lower. Press the knees out. And then we're going to take one arm off and the other arm off, the other hand off. And then you can play around. If it's too much, come up a little bit. Stay higher. If you can go lower into this, you might come all the way down. A really nice deep pose. Reaching forward. Breathing into this. 3. Keep breathing. 2. 1. Now push the floor away. Stand yourself up. And shake it out. Well done. Okay, let's find our belt, and I might actually just move you a little bit further away for the standing part. So we're going to bring the belt into the hands. I'm going to go quite wide with the hands here. I'm just going to tuck the ends of the belt in. So as I said, this might be a belt that you've pinched from a pair of trousers, a dressing gown belt, might be a tie, could be whatever you can find. So go nice and wide, all right? I'm showing you this from the side to start off. I want you just to soften your knees a little bit so that we don't do this thing where we stick the ribs out, stick the bum out. Soften, tilt the pelvis back, soften your knees. Hold those two ends of the belt wide apart, and first of all just go up and down a few times. Just going up overhead. Find where any tight spots are for you. You can stay standing, but I'm actually just going to kneel down so you can see a little better. Okay, we're going to go over and back. So going over a little bit. If that feels very tight, you can either go wider with your hands, or you can just stay there and don't go any further. For some of you, it's not going to feel difficult to come all the way back and down. Okay, so we're coming over and back. This is really nice release for the shoulders. But if there's tightness there, if you notice that you're having to bend one elbow, kind of go like this, then don't do it. If you can go wider and it makes it easier for you, that's fine. Otherwise, just go part way back and stop. Coming over and back again. This is kind of tiring for the shoulders after you've done 1 or 2. So last time, over and back. Okay, shake it out. We're going to step the feet wide apart. We're going to keep hold of the belt. I'm going to do a triangle pose. So step nice and wide with your legs, as if about a leg distance between your feet. We're going to turn these right toes in and these left toes out. So triangle pose, usually we come into the position, we reach forward and we come down. I'm going to do it a little bit differently this time. And I kind of pinched this from my holiday in Italy this year, where I was losing very badly at crazy golf and kind of got bored and started to use my golf stick to open my shoulders. This is what I did. So I did the over and back that we've just done, and this was the next part of this. This is inspired by my holiday and my terrible crazy golf skills. So we have the toes turned out, we have both legs straight. Don't lock out this knee if you can help it, just maybe a little bit of subtle softness, micro bend in the back of that knee. And then we're holding our belt up over our head, and we're just going to come over sideways, just go a little bit over, and then use this hand to pull yourself back. You can go a little bit further that way if you want. So really nice for strengthening, toning the sideways, but also lovely shoulder opening. Maybe you can come a little bit further and back. Pull yourself back. So sideways on, over and back. A few more. Let's make this our last one. Maybe you can hold that. If you want, you can let go of the belt and take a standard triangle pose for a breath. And then bring yourself all the way back. I'm going to go on the other side. Turn in those left toes. Turn out the right toes. If you want to do this without the belt, you can leave the belt. Nice way of doing this is just to lean over and back. Give your shoulders a rest. Leaning over and back. Maybe coming a little bit further into this. You could do it with your hands behind your head to keep those shoulders open. Coming forward and back. Maybe stay for a moment. Bring it back. Over and back. Breathe. Do one more, see if you can hold there for a moment. Maybe you want to take that lower hand down and the other hand up. Find your triangle position and breathe. For 3 and 2 and 1. Push the floor away. Bring yourself all the way up. We're going to keep the legs out wide. I'm going to take maybe them even wider. Draw the shoulders back. 2 options here. You can keep the hands at the waist, pull the shoulders back, or you can clasp the hands behind your back, or actually you can steeple the fingers if you want. Make it a little bit harder. Make yourself work. Take a breath in, and then exhale. You're going to bring your chest forward and take your sit bones back. You're going to bring those arms away from the back body as much as you can. Relax your head, your neck, folding forward. 3, 2, 1, and then release your hands to the floor. Either the tips of the fingers or the palms of the hand, or if you have a block nearby, you maybe could bring that over. Bring your right hand in front of your face on the floor, fingertips or palm, and then take your left hand, you're going to follow your thumb with your gaze. If you can, take a nice big twist. Trying to stack one shoulder on top of the other as much as you can. Slowly lower that hand all the way back down to the floor. Other side, reaching up. Lowering all the way down again. Come back onto your fingertips. You might want to soften and bend your knees a little bit. One hand to one hip, the other hand to the other hip. Engage your belly, coming up with a nice flat back. And then we're going to heel toe the feet together. Shake that out. Okay, I'm going to come down to the floor and I'm going to sit on my block. Again, if you have a cushion, you might sit on that. Your blanket, you might sit on that. I'm going to sit sideways on so that you can see this twist. So we're finishing with another twist. Okay. So we're going to bend the knee and bring it into the inside edge of that leg, okay? So this is your right leg. And then what we're going to do here is just focus on lengthening up. Now actually, if you have your belt handy, keep it beside you. Lengthening up through the crown of your head. Coming into Retraction twist. So we're going to take that right arm up and you're going to come forward inside of that knee. Okay, turn the palm out and sweep that hand behind you. If you can bend the elbow, all well and good. Now we're going to reach forward with the other hand and out through the heel of that foot. Turn the palm out, you sweep the hand back, follow it with your gaze, just like we did a moment ago. And then we're going to bend that elbow and maybe you can join the hands and work that shoulder back. Maybe you can't, and that's okay as well. If your belt is handy, maybe you can flick that belt and catch it and use the ends of the belt to help you to open through the chest. So taking that twist. And looking in the direction of that twist. Breathing down into your belly if you can. One more breath. Slowly release back to center and we change legs. Okay. Take an inhale, reach the arm up. You're coming inside of that bent knee. You're going to reach forward as much as you can. Turn the palm out, sweep the hand behind you, and then reach the other arm forward. Turn that palm out, and this time follow it with your gaze. So you're opening through the chest, bring the hand behind your back. Maybe you can clasp the hand, maybe you can take your belt, catch it. Try and lengthen up still through the crown of your head. So if you're all bent over like this, but you've caught the hands, that's great, but that's not really the pose. You want to try and lift and lengthen and twist. A couple of breaths there, wherever you're at is good. Just breathe into it. 3, 2, 1. Slowly release all the way. Fantastic. So we're going to come off the block if you are using a block or a cushion, and make sure you've got plenty of room down the floor behind you. Just going to slowly roll ourselves down and bring your heels a little bit closer towards your bum, feet about hip width apart. We're just going to finish with a fairly soft bridge pose. I don't necessarily need you to go as full on into this as you can because we've done a lot of work for the back. Take a breath Arms can either come right in to the sides of your body, or I quite like the variation where you go a little bit wider and let the palms roll up towards the ceiling. So you can really work the shoulders back and ground through the shoulders. Press a little bit your lower back into the floor. We're going to start this movement into bridge pose with a lift through the pubic bone. So it's like you're curling your tailbone off the floor and then just rolling each vertebra of your spine away from the floor. So as you come up, really push into the feet. Squeeze your bum muscles a little bit. Keep your inner thighs moving towards each other. Once you've got the hips as high as you can, start to lift your chest towards your chin. Don't press the back of your neck into the floor. A little bit of space under the chin is good. You're lifting the chest, coming onto your shoulders and your upper back. Think about maybe the tailbone moving more towards the heels and the heels drawing more towards the head. So again, we've got activation going on in the back body, and you can breathe into your lungs, fill up your ribs, take a few breaths. When you're ready, we're going to come down slowly, and again we're going to try and release each vertebra to the floor one at a time. Pause there, maybe bring the hands back to the belly. Nice constructive rest pose where your knees are just resting over your ankles. Allowing the spine to lengthen now, to relax, so no more effort. And then maybe stretching out one leg and then the other. Maybe taking the arms a little bit more away from the body with the palms towards the ceiling. Shavasana. Closing your eyes. Drawing your awareness inside your body. Reconnecting. Notice how your physical body feels. Bring softness into the physical body. Let the body get heavier. Notice also how your mind feels. And if you still have kind of busy thoughts, just see if you can give yourself permission to let those thoughts pass by for now. And instead, perhaps bring your attention back to the breath. How does the breath feel? Follow the inhalation and the exhalation. And let your breath soothe you and settle you. Feel all parts of your body softening, feeling heavier. Feel your arms, your legs. Feel the weight of your head. Feel your back body. Backs of your shoulder blades, mid-back, buttocks, the whole body heavy, soft, and relaxed. If you'd like to stay here for a little bit longer, feel free to do so. And if not, I'm going to ask you just to make some small movements, wriggle the fingers and the toes. Perhaps bend your knees Roll over when you're ready onto one side. Push yourself slowly up to sitting. And join the hands to your heart, and in gratitude to you for sharing this practice with me, and in gratitude to yourself for giving yourself this time. Namaste. And thank you.